Today in the life of the church, we celebrate this great feast of the Annunciation of the Lord. Kind of a great pause during the Lenten season. We have the Solemnity where we treat almost as a Sunday. Because truly this is a part of revealing of God's divine plan for us. Of course, we're very familiar with the story of the angel Gabriel going to Mary and making this pronouncement. But note, however, we look at the readings today, how this was foreshadowed even in the Old Testament. We hear today from the book of the prophet Isaiah, where the Lord speaking, more likely through an angel, asking Ahaz to ask for something. And ultimately, the angel is even asking him to ask for something that is deep as the netherworld or as high as the sky. And what could be deeper or higher than for the salvation of mankind and his redemption? And so already we see foreshadowed in the Old Testament how God would provide. And saying that a virgin shall be with child and bear a son, and they shall name him Emmanuel, for God is with us. And how that is even furthered, carried on. Now we see with the response of Mary. I love to see readings and different talks by the church fathers and things that I've studied and presented to me. And where one says how heaven waited with bated breath at Mary's response to God's request. How, yes, she been conceived without the stain of original sin. How she did not sin, and so she was full of God's grace. But still, to human free will, God submitted and says, almost, will you do this for me? Will you do this for mankind? And those words that echo for all of us and challenge us too. Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. May it be done to me according to your word. Almost echoing the words of our responsorial psalm, which comes from Psalm 40 today. Here I am, Lord. I come to do your will. And then ultimately, how that response by Mary, that free will response, changed everything. And ultimately put in God's plan even further. That in now 9 months, we celebrate that birth, because then that birth brings us to what we are celebrating in this wonderful season of Lent, our journey towards the cross and the resurrection. And so, first may today be a sign of hope, reminding that God has a plan for us. And with that plan, he is going to give us his grace to carry it out. The words that the angel Gabriel say to Mary, hail full of grace. How she's full of grace to now carry out, which we know will be both a joyful and sorrowful task. And so whatever God asks of us to, even in these moments, he is going to give us the grace. May that give us our hope as we go from here. And may we remind ourselves as we continue this journey through Lent towards Easter, how God has a plan and he provided for it. May we take that time to see what is God's plan for us. How am I cooperating with it? But also recognize he's going to give me the grace if I ask for it. May we carry it out. May God bless your daily journey with him.